How's it going, everyone? Welcome back. It's VibeOps here, and today we are going to be doing the Dual Destinies exotic mission guide for you. Let's jump right into it. Now, starting off here, you will need another person with you because throughout the entire mission, there's going to be an aspect of a light aligned and dark aligned. So you need one person who's dark aligned, one person who's light aligned. Now, with two people, if you don't have someone who's readily available to do it with you, what you can do is use the Looking for Group app in Destiny 2. I've done several runs now with that and just random people I've found in the Looking for Group app, and we've been successful every single time. And hopefully with this guide, you'll be able to be successful and help someone else get it too. As you can see from the gameplay here, this first part is pretty simple. You're just going to be following these triangles to your destination. There's going to be a wall here, and this is where that light aligned and dark aligned comes into play. Now, I'm going to show you here first where the dark aligned pad is. Myself, I'm light aligned in this one, so I'll need to go to the other one, but right there is where the dark aligned pad is. And once he steps on that dark aligned pad, all I have to do is go step on the light aligned pad, and it's going to open the door to the next area. Once you open the door, there's going to be a group of enemies that spawn. You're going to kill all of them, and you're just going to follow the path that's laid out in front of you until you have a rally flag. This is where your first encounter is going to be. Now, on screen here, I have symbols that are going to pop up. Basically, what's going to happen is there's going to be one person up top, and that's going to be the dark aligned person, and there's going to be one person down below, and that's the light aligned person. Now, once you step on the pads, a group of enemies is going to spawn, and you just got to slay out and survive. Now, you have a little over 12 minutes to complete this part of the mission. What's going to happen is, after you kill all these enemies, for the light aligned person, there's going to be a centurion that spawns, a taken centurion. And for the dark aligned person, there's going to be a taken knight that spawns. You'll need to kill these enemies twice because each time you kill them, they're going to drop a mote, and you need 2 motes for this first section. Each mote causes a symbol to spawn over top of an obelisk that's on the lower end. You'll need to read these symbols left to right for your teammate, because they will need to shoot the corresponding darkness nodes that has the symbol above it in the order in which you read it. Now, the second area, it's going to be the same thing, except there's going to be 3 that you have to read. So you're going to need 3 motes this time, and it's going to be different in that the dark aligned person is going to be the one reading the symbols, and the light aligned person is the one who will need to shoot the nodes corresponding to those symbols. For reference, this is what the node looks like. It's just a darkness node that you've seen in many missions. This is where the symbols will show up for the dark aligned person. Again, read them left to right. Same as the first one, once you shoot them in order, you'll get a couple messages popped up with each one that you shoot, and then it'll say paracausal energy tears through you, and you'll be teleported to the next ring. This is the last ring that you need to complete. There will be 4 motes that you need to collect and 4 symbols that you'll need to read. It will swap back to the light aligned person reading the symbols left to right, and the dark aligned person shooting them. Now, for the dark aligned, the nodes that they have to shoot spawn all around the top and sides of the arena, so they really have to look to make sure they see them all, because there will be a lot of them that they have to look through. Now, you'll be able to see in the gameplay behind where if for whatever reason you get the order wrong, it's okay. What's going to happen is you're going to get a message that says the paracausal energy dissipates. All that happens is you're going to lose the current motes you have, and you're going to have to regain them. So you'll see that message here in a second pop up on the bottom left of the screen. Right there, it says the paracausal energy dissipates. All that means is we shot the wrong symbol, and that's okay. Now, we have to then regain all of those motes, all 4 motes again, and you'll have to retry shooting those. Now, as far as I can tell, there's not a limit to how many times you can do this, but you got to remember you're on a time limit, so you don't want to get it wrong too many times. However, I have failed it 3 times before and still been able to make it in time. So you do have a lot of time while you're in this. And you can see here, we got it on our second try. The paracausal energy tears through you, and you're teleported to the next area. Now, you won't have to deal with symbols again until the final encounter. After completing that, you'll get extra time. You got about a little over 7 minutes to go ahead and traverse this next area. It's a very simple, straightforward path. You'll have some enemies you have to deal with, but they're really not difficult. And the traversal itself is pretty simplistic as well. Now, here's where you'll see the next part of the traversal. And this part's a little bit harder. You're going to need to jump to your corresponding plates, and you're split up for this. So you won't be going to the same area. The darkness aligned person goes to the left, and the light aligned person goes to the right to begin with. And then you'll actually swap spots on the third plate. So here's where the second light aligned plate is going to be, and then I will show you where the second dark aligned plate is. It's across the way, and you actually have to jump all the way up top. There will be a couple enemies there to show you where it is. I'm going to hop over here to the left side, revive my teammate, and show him where that pad is. So you can see here, just right up there. He hops up there, and that pad is right up there that he has to jump onto. Now, for this third pad, you're actually going to swap sides. So the light attunement is going to go through that little tunnel, and their pad is going to be right here. And I will show you here in a second where the dark attuned pad is, but they actually need to go to the opposite side where the light attuned pad had been. And it's going to be up on a ledge up there. So we're going to traverse over there, and I will show you where it is. You're basically backtracking. So you're going to hop up onto this ledge from where your first or second pad was, and you're going to run straight across, and it's in that little hole right there. After you both step on the pads, you're going to hop up to where all the enemies are, and you're just going to slay out. You're going to kill all these enemies. Once they're all dead, there's 2 pads there, and those are the final 2 pads. You're going to step on those, and you're going to start your second encounter. Again, you're going to be granted more time when you do this. Now, this next encounter is going to be your first of the 2 clock encounters. This one isn't a full clock. It's really a semicircle, and there's 9 of these nodes that you're going to need to look at. And so here's what I found easiest. Is if you read them from left to right and you number them 1 through 9. Now with that, what you should do, and what I found to be easiest, is you have one person read off the numbers that do not have lines going to them. So in my case, it was 2, 3, and 7. Now that's how I did it, and that seemed to be the easiest way for me. You can also do it where they read the ones that have lines going for them. It doesn't change, so it's easy for you to communicate those. You just have to end up shooting 3 that you have in common. Now, how do you know who's going to be shooting them, and how do you even get to shoot them? Because if you just try shooting them right now, they're not going to do anything. Well, after you slay out on the enemies for a little bit, a tormentor's going to spawn. Now, whoever kills the tormentor is going to get a buff called harmonic sundering. That means you can shoot the nodes. And so that's when you need to know which 3 you got to shoot, because you only have 25 seconds to do it. Now, once you shoot all 3 of the nodes that you have in common, you're going to get a message saying light and darkness surges, destabilizing an obelisk. Now, you have to do this 3 times. Doesn't have to be 3 times in a row, but you do have to do it 3 times. And so you'll basically just do the exact same thing. Slay out on enemies, kill the tormentor, shoot the 3 nodes you have in common. Once you've done this, that door behind the obelisk is going to go ahead and open up, and it's going to allow you to progress forward into another traversal. This traversal is much easier. You are split up for it, but it's much more straightforward. So the other one, you don't have to jump around and try and find your pad. Basically, the pads are going to be right in front of you, and they're going to be not lit up until you kill all of the enemies in the area. So just basically slay out on enemies, kill them all. Once you've killed them all, your pads are going to light up, and it's going to create a ring that's going to suck you through to the next area. So you don't have to know where to go or anything like that. The game's going to take you there for you. And again, once you get to this second level, slay out on the enemies that spawn there. Your pad will light up, and you'll be teleported to the next section. Now this final section is a little different, only that the pads flip-flop. So on the right side is going to be the darkness pad, on the left side is going to be the lightness pad, and you'll slay out on all the enemies and kill the ogre, and then once you kill the ogre, 2 tormentors will spawn. You'll have to kill both the tormentors, and then the pads will light up. You step on the pads, and again, rings will pop up, and as soon as you get close to them, they're just going to suck you through to the next area. Now, this final encounter is going to have a mix of everything we've learned so far. So you're going to start out by standing on the pads, and then you're going to slay out on enemies. Here is another look at those symbols, because you will need them again for this last encounter. But first things first, slay out on all the enemies. There's going to be an expector that spawns. You need to push his health bar to the first third. And once you do that, that's when those symbols are going to come into play. Once you've pushed his health bar, what's going to happen is he's going to become shielded. You can't kill him. There will be 2 wizards that spawn. One that's darkness and one that's light. The person who's light aligned has to kill the one that's light. The person who's darkness aligned has to kill the dark aligned one. And when you do that, for the light aligned person, there's going to be 3 symbols over top of the expector. You're going to need to read them top to bottom for your teammate, and they're going to need to shoot the corresponding node for that, and those spawn just all around this initial area. Once the nodes have been shot, what's going to happen is the expector is going to become vulnerable again, and you're going to push his health another third. Once you push it another third, he's going to go behind a wall, and you'll no longer be able to damage him. But what will happen is a second expector is going to spawn. This one's going to be Strand. You'll need to push his health for a third. And then you'll repeat the process. 2 wizards will spawn. 1 light aligned, 1 dark aligned. You'll need to kill them. And then the dark aligned will actually see the symbols above the expector's head. And the light aligned will need to shoot the corresponding nodes. And those are going to spawn in this second upper area. Now here's what it looks like. You can see all those nodes around. My teammate will read the symbols to me, and I'll shoot the corresponding symbols here. Once you shoot the final symbol, again, the expector will become vulnerable, and you'll need to push his health. Once you push his health, what's going to happen is another set of wizards are going to spawn. He's going to go behind a wall. You won't be able to damage him anymore, and you'll have your first clock portion encounter. Now this clock, you do want to read like an analog clock with 12 at the top, 3 being 90 degrees out to the right, 6 at the bottom, 90 degrees out to the left. Now this one is a little bit faster, so it's going to be constantly changing. So the easiest way I found to do this is to have one person read off the times that they have, and the other person to call out the corresponding one that they have in common. You're only going to have one node that's in common, and that's the one you both need to shoot. Now you need to do this 3 times, and it needs to be 3 successful times in a row. You can allow it to lapse and change which ones it's aligned to, as long as you both don't shoot any of them. Whenever you shoot one, you have to get it right. If you don't, you'll have to do it 3 more times. Now, once you've done it and you've gotten all 3 right, what's going to happen is the barriers are going to go down, and you just need to kill the expectors. They're both going to be there, both damageable. You slay out, you kill them both, and once that's done, you've done it. You've completed the mission. Your timer's going to go away, and you're going to be able to go into this room, and you'll stand on your corresponding pads, and this is where there's kind of a cool thing that happens. You can either choose to fight each other or choose peace. Now, we chose peace. You can do whatever you want. If you're with a friend, you know, slay out, have a battle, whatever you want to do. But either way, once you choose peace or you battle, afterwards, you'll be able to collect your exotic item. Now, if you're the same class, you can choose to collect from the same pedestal, or you can collect from different pedestals. It doesn't really matter. As long as you collect one of them, it's going to unlock it. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I hope this Dual Destinies guide video helped you and you were able to get your first exotic class item. If you did, comment down below what your roles are, leave a like on this video, and we'll see you in the next one.